Oh yeah, this thing is hilarious. By the way, I don't know if anybody has done this. This is pure comedy.
Let's just say, like the average man is like 70K, five.
Yeah, like mid 30s. It might be around that.
Yeah, it's like I think the average man is
I think
50.
it depends what state, but yeah, you could say 70. It might even be lower than that.
Yeah,
But
just like
I think average is like average income
60.
somewhere around 50 to 60. Yeah.
Yeah, 50, 51 actually. But that's like all the US.
Yeah,
It
that's
depends on, yeah.
so this is not married, whatever race, at least 5'8", makes 60K or makes 50K a year, not even
yeah.
60K in any weight. 10% of men, that is insane.
Understand
10%
your
chance or 10% of men?
that's a that's only there's only 10% of men that fall into
Crazy.
this category. Like,
That's crazy.
yeah, man.
It's kind of,
Surprise.
I mean, it's not necessarily, yeah, it's a prize, but also, that's why we need more podcasts that like this. You know what I mean? Like that average, you gotta bump it up, bro. You know what I mean? Like,
You the moment you break, well, look at this. You're not married, any race, 5'8". I'm not 5'8", but I'm not gonna black pill myself. But anyways, not obese, and you're breaking 100K, dude.
Shit, that
You
was
are
funny.
top 1.2%.
if you're not married.
Yeah, if
And
you're not
so when
married.
you realize if you're under 5'8", you just increase that income by 10,000. You
Exactly, dude.
you gotta balance it out.
Can we do that? I'm actually curious about the height though. What is that? I can't see. Is it 5'3"?
5'5".
5'5".
So-
Okay.
I
Let's-
mean,
let's
most
do the 5K.
guys are not. No, that's way too short. That's a very small percentage.
You were
5'5"
hurting
is
like 5% of the population now.
yeah. 5'5" is more realistic.
Would just stick to 100K?
Yeah. Let's
Yeah.
take
Yeah, let's put 100K because that's realistic for a lot of people to get to 100K. That can happen. That's not hard to get
Yeah,
to.
Yo,
100K.
you're still
It can
2%.
happen.
You're still 2%, dude.
2%.
Wow.
Dude, know your freaking
Wow.
If you guys,
No,
if that
What if you're married?
proves
your
anything
word.
to you,
How about if you're married?
worth. You're married?
Yeah, if you include married men.
that's true. It might go up. Was it gonna be like
So,
4%?
wait, are we promoting our female listeners to cheat?
No.
or what?
For fun. This is
For
for
fun.
fun.
Just to
Unless
see
you
general
wanna say, "Man, I don't care
population.
about this," but I'm just
Yeah.
like, we're not promoting none of this.
General population. Yeah.
Wow, so it goes 3x, huh? No, how did it go down? That doesn't make any sense.
Because those guys, no, it went from 2 to 6, right?
Yeah, what's it? Yeah,
What? Was
Is
it
that 2%? Yeah.
yeah, 2%. Yep.
So what we're saying is those guys
So
making 100K that are
66%
short
are
already
gone.
getting, yeah, they're already getting.
Yeah,
You make over 100K, you're getting swiped up.
that's what I'm saying.
Taken,
Like,
bro.
it's
You're getting
it's
swiped up.
this-
Height don't even matter. You're getting swiped. There's a lot of 5'1" girls out there. You just gotta be taller. That's all that matters.
more and more.
That's true.
Hope for
Although
everybody.
although I heard 5'1" and 5'2" that want a 6-foot guy. I'm like,
It's
all right.
true.
And no, again,
Don't you want to kiss? Like, at some point.
Wait,
Too
what
many
did you-
jokes that are not gonna be said here.
What did you say though? It's the market. Market.
Kiss
market-
what
It is
is
a
your
market,
question?
It is a market. It is a market for sure.
The mar-
Kiss
the
what
market-
is your question? Yeah.
Market sets the demand, right? The market sets the value, right?
No, the market sets the supply. The demand
That's
is
true.
inflated. We don't know.
That's
true.
The demand could be, you can demand $1 million in your bank.
I'm just saying, there's a
that's-
high demand for a high earning male, right? And the supply of that is very, very low. And all that to say, at least for my part, is that
But it
It's
brings it back
understand-
to this brings it. Sorry to cut you off, but this
Yeah.
brings it back to a really good, important point. Is looking at that data is what's really important. Let's keep it $1.50. What's really important? The moolah, because what we saw there is 2% of guys unmarried who fall under that 500K, 6% who are married. So guys who are making cash, they might not be as tall, they might not be as fit. They're still getting yanked
Which
out of
is
the market.
AKA security. which I know a lot of,
Buck
you know,
50.
a lot of women may disagree with this, but security, financial security, physical security. I don't know. I mean,
But
that
most
help
women
you.
don't realize, but here's another thing that I've realized. Most women don't realize that because they have to function so much in their masculine energy. They're out there in the workforce, they're out there growing their career. To be in most corporate environments, you have to flex your masculinity in today's society.
Well, if you
Most
define it as
companies,
I
such,
agree.
if you define it as such, and I agree with you too, but if you define it as such, because like there's this new trend also that
that's what I said, most places,
yeah,
it is changing.
but there's this new trend also, you know, that's like, well, it's you know, it's not masculine energy or feminine energy. It's more like untapped potential.
Yeah, it's called bullshit. That's called.
But here's my counterpoint though, is that as men, as that X and Y chromosome, we do have access to feminine energy naturally. And so there are parts of our feminine energy that do make us successful in business. Instinct,
Yeah, that's true.
Creativity.
uh, empathy, these things are very important in business. So
Yeah.
we can't say, but there are masculine points of getting shit done, achieving. Those are all more masculine traits. Those are super important. So to go back to my last point, when a woman's functioning in those things where I'm achieving, I'm making 90K a year, blah blah blah, I'm making my ranks up, she's not thinking about in her front of her mind, she's not thinking about necessarily I want a man to support me to this and that because she's already doing that for a lot of that part. She's already doing that for a lot of that himself. And if we go to why women are single, I think that's a big reason. Yeah, maybe standards have changed. They're going over. They all want a smaller percentage of people. But on the flip side, a lot of women are seeing more success than ever financially. That means they can
But
financially take care of themselves. That means that part of if we're talking about wanting to be supported or taken care of whatever, then that's somewhat being fulfilled, that part of their natural innate desire, if that's what we speak to it
no,
as.
but like I get the point in terms of like, so you're saying how like because they are more not independent, but like the fact that they have access to resources gives them the notion of like, oh, I don't need to necessarily like settle down per se.
I think there's parts to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think my
So
other point was functioning in the
yeah, the
masculine
masculine,
makes you
yeah.
realize that you don't need the masculine
So like I understand that sentiment, right?
in
But
your
again,
front
that
of mind.
yeah. So but then that comes back down to like the family unit. I like that's again like we're we are raising men, our boys, to be dysfunctional girls, and we're raising our girls to be the most terrible version of men.
It's
And it's
true.
like and it's like again, I'm not more power to you if you're hearing this podcast and you're like, hey, I'm a career woman, like no
Yeah,
hate,
do
like
your thing.
go do
Do
it.
your thing.
But the other part of what's not being taught is like when you do that, right, like you will go into a mindset of like I don't need a man or whatnot, and then you hit 30, you hit 32, you hit 35, and then you go back to the common sentiment now of like there is no quality men right now, and it's like I understand there are actually like two things can be true. There are no there might be lack of quality men, or maybe the men that you meet are lack of quality. That can be true. But also
Or
there's
maybe your
also
turnoffs are the quality you're looking actually for. The quality you're actually looking
yeah, correct.
are your exact turnoffs.
The turn
Oh,
yeah.
that's a turnoff.
But
You know what I mean?
but it's like
Yeah.
you've also made choices and concessions in your own life, whether it be right now specific career, to get you to this point where you've acquired traits that are unattractive to the high value men that you are wanting to pursue or want to be pursued by. And it's like, yes, there might not be quality men, true, but also you've also made decisions that put you in place where you are actually unattractive in terms of like settling down, in terms of like mating wise, right? Settling down, having family, you're actually unattractive now in that lens. And it's like oh wow, like there's things that I've made in my own life that brought me into a certain place, and it's no longer the cost benefit is no longer beneficial anymore. And it's like,
I think it,
yeah,
well, I think it goes back to, I don't know if it was a week or the week before, we were talking about the girl on the Steve Harvey show or whatever.
Mhm.
Like, this is why the age thing is so important, because this girl, I think she was in her mid to late 30s.
Yep.
She built her career and she's wondering, why am I single? You know? And basically what Steve Harvey was saying is like, you're single because you want to be the alpha and no alpha man is gonna, you want to be the driver, but no alpha man is gonna let you be the driver.
Yeah.
And so,
but also, go ahead. Sorry.
what I was gonna say is, I think if we think about, I agree with your point of men, how we're raising men and how we're raising girls, kind of opposite genders in a sense and dysfunctioning. I think that's definitely, I would agree with that. But I would say, like, if you were to ask almost any woman, whether she's 25 years old, whether she's 19, whether she's 35, if a man came up to her, she's in a relationship, you don't ever have to work again. What is she gonna do? She ain't never gonna work again. And what's gonna happen is
She'll be insulted.
a small percentage will, but most women will be like, okay, I'll take that on. And what's gonna happen is she's gonna start retracting into her feminine nature of, oh, this man can take care of me.
Yeah.
Oh, but she'll still have some traits of this masculinity of, I ain't cooking, I ain't cleaning, I ain't doing this. Like, I'm still expecting all my emotional needs from you, blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day, if it presents itself an opportunity for her to stop functioning as much in that space, because I don't know, I think I pointed this out in the past, is men have XY chromosome, women have, what is it, Y? I can't remember which is which.
XX.
XX. That's all feminine energy. Men have masculine and feminine energy. So a woman functioning in quote unquote masculine energy, quote unquote alpha male, is impossible because she doesn't have that inside of her, in her,
She's emulating
inside of her
what
genes.
sees,
She's
yeah.
emulating what and that's why you
sees.
say we're raising girls to be
Comparable.
dysfunctional men.
Yeah, but I'll also go back to the lack of father in the house. Like 100%. Like, you have
sure.
to emulate this, like, doing things that are not natural to you, right? And we'll leave that argument on the side for the people that disagree, but they're not natural to you. You're going to have to operate in this energy to compensate for the lack of that presence in the house growing up. And I would actually disagree with you. Like, it will take a lot of healing for people to go from that extreme to,
I agree,
to realizing, like, oh, taking care of me, that's not an insult. Okay.
I agree that there will be healing. I agree that there will be healing in process.
Yeah.
But I will say, instinctually, when she really thinks about it, like, oh shit, like, that sounds nice. Most will be like, if you ask 100 women, I guarantee at least 90 of them will be like, that sounds really nice. If you ask a guy that, 10 to 20% of them will say that's nice. It's the reverse because of how we function naturally.
Yeah, on the fundamental level, I agree. If you cast over 100 inquiries, yeah, I would agree that you would have people take that option of just sort of like, oh yeah, I'd be home, I'd be taken care of.
You mean for men or for women?
For women. Yeah. They'd be.
But it is healing and it is process and it is reshaping perspective. I agree with you
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with you 100%.